name is Yair Vardi. I'm a kibbutznik. You mean born in a kibbutz in the Upper Galilee of Israel. As far as I remember myself, I've always danced through my life. I've started to dance in the high school in Israel, then I joined the movement folk dance group, and then I went into the Ulpan, it's a place to study dance where I live in the Upper Galilee in Tel Hai, which is a heroic place, one of the most important places of Israel history. Following that, during my high school, I joined the School of Batsheva Dance Company in Tel Aviv, i.e. I had to travel to Tel Aviv every week to take some classes. I got some scholarship from the Baroness de Rothschild. And after that, I joined the army for 1 year before I joined the army, I accepted to the company for 1 year of dancing. Through that, I participated in the War of Israel, one of the War of Israel. Leaving the army after 3 years, I joined the Batsheva Dance Company as a full member, which I stayed there until 1995, which I left to Bador Dance Company, another company in Israel, come back to the Batsheva Dance Company following a year, and after 2 years, I left to England to join the Ballet Rambert following Christopher Bruce, who is a choreographer, to join the company, and he had a wonderful part for me called Cruel Garden, which would then later be filmed by the BBC, and we traveled all over England and around the world with this piece, which was a great, great time. After 6 years of working in the Ballet Rambert, I left and I re-established what you call then English Dance Theatre in Darlington, but I moved to Newcastle straight away with the new formed company, and I built a center called Dance City. I was very fortunate through my dancing, as I was dancing with the greatest name in the world then until then, which Martha Graham, Glenn Tetley, John Butler. You name it, everybody was there, Norman Morris, Christopher Bruce, Tali Beatty. It was a wonderful time in Batsheva and Ballet Rambert, and I will treasure it for life. After 6 years in England, I married Stella, and we decided to come back to Israel. I'm coming back, Stella, it's the first time. Came back to Israel, and I applied for the new post for a newly established center for dance called Suzanne Della Centre for Dance. There, I was there for 31 years, establishing and dancing and promoting Israel dance through any means that's possible, from young choreographers to established choreographers, small companies to big companies. Companies from all over the world came to see and to work and to dance in Suzanne Della Centre. Middle-scale theatre, but done a lot of work. We stretched the dance in Israel to measure that's never been seen before. We had over 700 performances a year of dance in our little country, Israel. But we managed to develop and to nurture all the dance scene with all aspects, all styles of dance in Israel, may it be contemporary, folk dance, flamenco, Yemenite dance, belly dance, you name it, all was in this wonderful center. Now it's going to celebrate 32 years, and after following a new development that we have done to build a huge studio, bearing the name of the founders, Zahava and Jacques Delal. The center also established itself as a center for theater and music, and we have festivals for theater, for modern drama, we have festivals for music, vocalic music, chamber music. We had festival for international dance, came to Israel. We had festival for creation in Israel, like Curtain Up. We have, and the leading one and the most important was International Exposure, which was established in 1995 during those awful times where our Prime Minister was assassinated, Mr. Rabin. That was a very deep moment for all of us. But the government says, go ahead. People are coming, guests are coming from all over the world. Let them see what you have created and let them see the Israeli dance. Since then, every year we established this exposure, and every year it grew and grew and grew. I started with 35 personal friends of mine that I invited to see the work, and then it grew into lately we had over 220 guests from all over the world for 5 days of Israeli dance, stretching from one side of the center to the other side of the center and traveling through Israel sometimes to see dance elsewhere in Jerusalem or Haifa or up in the north. The Kibbutz Dance Company and to see down in Mitzpe Ramon in the north of the Negev, the Liat Dror and the Ben Gad company. So that project was the success of our dancing in the world. Since then, all dancers, all dance company, all the creators been invited all the time to travel and to see and to show their works and to see dance around. And this is a wonderful gift I felt that, a feeling that we gave to this country through this wonderful center that can hold all these activities. In the center, through the years, we managed to establish dance as one of the major force of art in Israel. And we have now over 500,000 people viewing dance all over the country. We have more dance around. Every city that wants to proudly itself have a dance series in one of the theaters. And every centers around Israel. And we have few now also established some dance activity, subscribers and people who come to see dance, which gives works to the young artists and to the creators. Also, we managed to establish festivals from beginning, through layers of activity. Maybe a course for choreographer first, and then first time choreographic work, and then established choreographic work, and then the big company festival. So we are stretched our ability to show the variety and varied dance of Israel, in Israel and around the world. I'm very happy to say that we established and we succeeded in what our goals were in the beginning of the establishment 32 years ago of Suzanne Della Centre, and for me it's a great achievement. Yes, it is a hard work. There are moments which I still remember that I was quite alone there in the center because it was a neglected part of Israel and Tel Aviv, which wasn't considered to be a nice part of Tel Aviv. Now it's the most expensive area of Tel Aviv, but then it was in the middle between Jaffa and Tel Aviv along the seaside, and nobody even knew how to get there, even myself. The first time, my wife and myself, Stella, we went there to have dinner when we came to Israel, and we saw this wall standing, and I was told, here we'll have the Suzanne Della Centre. I said, yes, we will have it. And that would happen. We have the Suzanne Della Centre. And I still remember that evening, it was a winter evening, we went to eat in a restaurant that still exists in different names. And so it was my first acquaintance with the place there. So this is, it's a hard work, it's a continuous work. These kind of things need so much patience, so much time, and you need to take it step by step, layer by layer. You have to expand yourself, expand your knowledge. You have to take time to stretch the abilities and to have patience to show the people and have the people coming in, because as I said, I was quite alone in the beginning. For first year, it wasn't easy. Very slowly, people realized the place, and the place grew, become famous. It's become slightly easier, but it's still a continuous work, continued hardship, but very exciting. Another very important point to make is that always have a leading major dance company professional within the center. Around that you can create anything, but draw the people, and we are very lucky to have the Batsheva dance company. Her home is the Suzanne Della Centre, and then we have the Imbal dance company, and then we have all the other dance company coming to perform. But those two companies have their home within the Suzanne Della Centre. So all that together makes it all possible, and I wish the center the best of luck. We're facing nowadays the worst epidemic for 100 years, the coronavirus. Yes, it makes it all stop what we're doing for 4 months in Israel, and I believe all over the world. Yes, we have to think new, we have to rethink our art, rethink our creation, rethink how it will work in the future. And so it does make us sit and think what to do, how to do, with whom to do, and to really go deeper into ourselves and to search for the right answer in this crucial time of the humanity. And not easy time for anybody, for our life, from art, for creation. I don't have the real answer for anything for the moment. We are in it and we think what to do and how to do. I think it will take time, And again, we need patience, and lots of patience like we have done in the past years to do. So I just wish that we'll all have our time to rethink ourselves, rethink our arts, and rethink our doing. I wish you all the best. Bless you all. Thank you very much for listening. Yair Vardi.